Hello, today we're going to be putting together a few different bits of algebra you've done recently. So you did solving equations last week, you've done some expanding brackets, and today eventually we're going to be solving equations that have got brackets in them. What I'd like you to do first in this lesson though is just as a bit of revision. I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at solving these equations. It's really important that you look back in your book at how we write down our workings, because if it's not written down properly, it's going to go badly wrong when they get harder. Okay, work through. When you're done, press play and I'll talk you through the answers. Okay, for the first one, remember the rule is to always work backwards and do the opposite. So if the question has a plus 9, the opposite is to take away 9. So x equals 12, take away 9. Then you must start a new row, x equals 3. For the next one, these are one-step equations. We've only got to do one thing. The opposite of taking away 4 is to add 4. So x equals 4 add 4. So x equals 8. For the third one, what's happening here is that it is multiplying. Remember, there's no multiplication sign in algebra, but if they're stuck together, it means multiplying. The opposite of multiplying by 3 is to divide by 3, and we write division as a fraction. So 18 divided by 3, and then on the next line, 18 divided by 3 is 6. And for the last one of the one-step equations, this 3 down here at the minute is dividing because it's underneath a fraction, and the opposite of dividing by 3 is to times by 3. 7 times 3, x equals 21. Okay, it should look pretty much exactly like mine. If it doesn't, you're not writing them down properly and you're asking for trouble later on. These now are two-step equations. So in this equation we've multiplied by 3 and we've added 5. And it was done in that order, so we multiplied first, then added. So the first thing to do is to do the taking away 5. So 3x on the left equals 17 take away 5. Still 3x, but it equals 12. Remember, you start a new row for everything when you're solving equations. Right, now I can get rid of the times 3, and I do that by dividing by 3. Like a fraction, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. For the next one, the first thing I need to do is to do the opposite of taking away 9, so that's adding 9. So 2x equals 7 add 9. 2x equals 16 because 7 add 9 is 16. Now I can get rid of this 2 by dividing, so 16 divided by 2, x equals 8. For number 3 on this row then, the plus 3 is not part of the fraction, so the dividing was done first and the adding 3 was done afterwards because it's not part of the fraction. So I need to take away the 3 first, because remember you work opposite. If the adding was done last, then taking away is the first thing you do. So x over 2 equals 7 take away 3. So x over 2 equals 4. The opposite of dividing by 2 is to times by 2. 4 times 2, x equals 8. Sometimes it's the writing down that's the worst because it just takes so long to do it properly. And then the last one is a bit different. Because the taking away 3 is part of the fraction, it means the taking away was done first and then the whole thing was divided by 4 at the end. Because the dividing by 4 was done at the end, timesing by 4 is the first thing that we need to do. So x minus 3 equals 6 times 4. So x minus 3 equals 24. Now I can get rid of the takeaway 3. I wasn't allowed when it was part of the fraction, but now the fraction has gone, I can move the minus 3. 24 add 3. Is 27. So well done if you got all of those right. Even more of a well done if your workings look like my workings. If your workings don't look like my workings, you've got to stop being lazy and write it out properly. Okay, next job then is to expand some brackets for me. So remember, the rule for multiplying expanded brackets is to multiply everything on the inside by the number on the outside, and later on there'll be letters, but not today. So I've got to do, I'll do the first one with you, 5 times x, which is just 5x, you stick them together, and then 5 times minus 6, so 5 times 6 is 30, a positive and a negative make a negative, so that's all you have to do on number 1. Now multiply the other 3 and press play when you're ready. So 6 times 2x gives me 12x, and 6 times 7 is 42, a plus and a plus is a plus. 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times 8 is 24, a plus and a minus make a minus. 4 times 5x is 20x, and 4 times 2 is 8, a plus and a plus make a plus. So that's how you expand a bracket. Remember, I said when we first did brackets that it looks nice when it's in brackets, but it's not very useful, and if you wanted to do some maths with your algebra that's in brackets, the first thing you're going to have to do is take it out of the brackets. And I said it was like if you're looking for your clothes and it's all folded up in drawers, you're going to have to empty the drawers out to find what you're looking for. So when you have an equation that's got brackets in, the big sort of rule is this: you've got to expand the brackets before you start solving the equation. Otherwise, it's all locked up in the bracket and you can't do anything with it. So anytime you see a bracket in an equation and you've been asked to find x or to solve whatever the letter, it doesn't have to be x, you have to get rid of the brackets first, so expand them, and once your brackets are gone, then you can do your solving like you did a minute ago for 1-step, 2-step equations. So I've got a few examples, and I don't need to show you many. So if I do the first one with you, and then maybe you'd like to pause the video and have a go at the next two on your own. So I've got brackets. I can't take away 1 because that take away 1 is still stuck in a bracket. So you can forget about doing that. Your first job on all of these is going to be to expand. So on the first one, I'm going to multiply everything by 3. That gives me 6x plus 3 equals 21. Now the brackets are gone, I can start solving. So the opposite of adding 3, now notice it's a 3 not a 1 because we multiplied it out. So if we had taken away 1 it would have been wrong. So the opposite of adding 3 is to take away 3. So 21 take away 3. Then go down a row. 21 take away 3 is 18. And now we can divide by 6 from in front of there. 18 divided by 6 is 3. If you would try to do that without expanding the brackets, it would have gone horribly wrong and you would have got terrible numbers and it wouldn't have been right anyway. So number 2, pause the video if you want to have a go yourself. 4 lots of 3x is 12x. 4 5s are 20, but we've got a plus and a minus, so that's a minus, equals 28. Notice the 28, nothing happens yet because all I've done on the left side of the equation is expand the brackets. Now I can start solving and doing my opposites. So the opposite of taking away 20 is to add 20. So 12x equals 28 plus 20, which is 48. To get rid of the 12, I need to divide by 12. And 48 does divide nicely by 12. It goes in exactly 4 times. 4 12s make 48. And the last one, so hopefully you could do this one on your own before I do it. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 7 is 21. And it's a plus because we've got a plus and a plus. So that equals 27. Now I start doing my solving. So I need to take away 21. So 27, take away 21 is 6. Make sure you start a new row. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. And that's the end of this video, because as long as you know how to expand a bracket and as long as you know how to solve one-step and two-step equations, putting them together is not really anything new. It just means it takes maybe 20 seconds longer per question.